Hello everyone, welcome to today's tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to use Omniverse Create to make a Ferris wheel. Here is the main view of the Ferris wheel. We have a main wheel in the middle and we have a pod here. So to make the animation to rotate the wheel, we need to do the keyframe animation for it. And for the pod, it rotates around the wheel while it can swing around the joint at here. So let's start by creating a joint at here. So choose the pod you want to rig and right click on create, physics, joint, and revolute joint. Now you can see that there's a revolute joint here attached to the origin of the pod. But the rotation is wrong, so we need to change the axis for the rotation. We can change the axis from X to Z at the revolute joint property here. And after adding the joint, make sure that we have the rigid body attached to itself and its parent. For itself, we can right-click, create, right-click, add physics and rigid body. So in this case, we don't need collision here. We don't want some unnecessary collision between the structure and the pod itself. So we'll only create rigid body to it. So now you can see that we have a rigid body attached to it. Let's see what will happen if we click play. So you can see that nothing happens. This is because we haven't set any animations to it. So let's start by clicking the revolute joint and add the parent to it. So let's add the target. So we should make sure that the revolution is around the main wheel, right? So we click search for the wheel and locate where is the wheel and add the rotation to it. And now you can see that it is attached to the wheel, but since there's no animation for the wheel, there's nothing happening right now. For the wheel, we can locate where's the wheel, and here is the wheel. We can make an animation for it. We can just keyframe the animation by setting up the keyframes for the rotation in the timeline. So if you don't know how to open the timeline, click Window, Animation, and Timeline, and you can see the timeline here. So we set the time to 0 in the beginning, and if we locate the X form of the wheel and right-click to rotate and set key. Now we can see that we have a key here. So we can set the time into 100 and change the rotation at Z-axis, for example, 30. And now you can see we have another key here. So you can see that while I'm scrolling the timeline, the main wheel starts rotating. So let's go back to time 0 and click play. But however, in this case, there's nothing happening for the pod itself. This is because this is an animation. We need to attach the rigid body to the joint to make sure that they are in the whole joint system. So we go to the wheel, right-click, create, add physics and rigid body. So after adding the rigid body, let's play it again. However, while adding the rigid body, it starts falling. So saying that the rigid body is driven by the physics instead of the keyframe animation here. So to avoid this, click Well and go to the rigid body part and locate the property kinetic enabled. So this is the property that make sure the simulation still drives the velocity for the kinetic body based on internal motion. Saying that it is a property that helps the keyframe animation to drive the rigid body. So let's click, and now we click play, and now you can see that the pod is swinging around the main wheel while rotating. So you can see that the timeline is just looping between 0 and 100 frames, making it just to go back and forth irregularly. We can make it longer for example, the end of the timeline set to 1000, and go to the beginning and start it again. And now you can see that this rotates normally, and you can keep keyframing the wheel to make it the loop, and the pod will swing around with the pod in a regular manner. And okay, that's all for today's tutorial. Hope you enjoy it. I'll put the link of the files at the bottom of the video in the description. Thank you.